What is going on, everyone? I'm here with the special guest today. He goes by Leo. If you're on Twitter, he runs the hell out of the spaces for the Houston Texans. Leo, man, welcome to the channel.
What's up, bro? What's up, man? Thank you for having me, bro. It's been a long time coming, man.
Now, a long time coming. We have a lot of things to talk about. I talked about this offseason being one of the most exciting, for the Houston Texans that I can, remember. How do you feel about that?
Oh, bro. Man. I feel like this is like the first off season in a while that like we actually starting off from like not a negative. You know what I'm saying? Like we have capital. You know what I'm saying? We're actually in a place where we can actually like we can land a decent coach, right? Like it doesn't feel like we're gonna be losing for the next 2 years, right? 2 to 3 years. I feel great about it, bro. I,
Yeah, no, it does feel good. Some news today. Ben Johnson has decided to go back to the Detroit Lions. That's a knife in the heart to me. I was a big Ben Johnson fan, man. That one sucked, dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. I when I got that news, bro, I was like, damn, bro. I was like, I knew you was gonna be pissed off about that shit, man.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying, it doesn't hurt as much because I feel like we've been nailing the head coaching search, right? We have D'Amico on Friday. We
Hmm.
did Ejo Evero today, the DC from the Broncos. He's another strong candidate, right?
Yeah.
But the talk of the town in the city of Houston is Sean Payton.
Hmm.
And I don't know how you feel about him, but if you're the Houston Texans and you look at a Hall of Fame coach, a Super Bowl winning coach,
Hmm.
why not take the chance on someone like Payton?
Oh, it's a no-brainer to me, man. Like you think about it, bro. We've fired back-to-back guys. You know what I'm saying? Bill O'Brien took us as far as, we had ever been. And we had six, I guess like for how many he had like 4 or 5 division
Yeah,
championships,
4 or 5 division
you
titles.
know. You know what I mean, bro? But like when you have a chance to go get a guy that's like as decorated as this, you know what I'm saying, that was mentored by, one of the greatest coaches ever, Bill Parcells, that's like widely respected throughout the league. When you've been the laughing stock for the league over the past 3 years, like what better way to like, what I'm saying, really, really cement yourself like back in a respectful and serious, like really look like a serious team, bro. So to me, it just seems like like a no-brainer. And then on top of that, another thing too, you're talking about one of the best quarterback developers really ever. A guy that, helped develop Romo, undrafted free agent, the most successful undrafted free agent outside of Kurt Warner pretty much in NFL history.
Hmm.
And we're talking about drafting a quarterback. What person would you rather have than that? You know, to me it's simple, bro.
It's simple. And the question on everyone's mind is, do you give him the 12th overall pick? Because he was on the Colin Cowher show and he talked about how he and Mickey Loomis had a conversation about it being a mid to late round pick with the Houston Texans, and you have the 12th overall. I don't mind trading that. You could also do many things with that trade, that back a couple picks and still offer him a potential 15 and 16, get yourself an extra selection. But a first round pick for Sean Payton, I don't mind that whatsoever at all. You just talked about how he's able to develop, young QBs. You're selecting one at two, whether it's Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Sean Payton can convince me on any of the two. But
Hmm.
I think a first round pick is worth it for Sean Payton, and like I said, it's a no brainer.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, we've seen him architect like a lot of different offenses. Even in his tenure of, what I'm saying, with the Saints. Excuse me, you've seen him, have to work with like, Jameis Winston, turn Jameis Winston after a 30 pick a year, you know, really wasn't turning the ball over the next year, had 5 wins before he hurt his knee. When he goes down, we've seen him work with like
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, Trevor Simeon, and kept the team in games, like kept them competitive. To me, it's like, and we're talking about guys like, like Bryce Young, like, what I'm saying, I almost call him J.R. Smith, C.J. Stroud, what I'm saying, like, I mean, I think if he worked with some of those guys, there's nothing that in their game that like I don't think there's any real physical limitations with like a CJ Stroud. So if I seen him work, in those kind of parameters with those other quarterbacks, like there's nothing in my mind that makes me feel like damn near any quarterback in this draft this man can't work with as long as they're willing to put in the work to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So like it's almost like you like the pick the even if we don't trade back and we give them the 12th pick, bro, the when you think about putting your quarterback in the I guess like the best place to be successful, that's worth the extra. That's worth the extra first round pick. I mean, you know, I mean, like we've just had so much uncertainty, and I just you're talking about like rebuilding the culture. I mean, the Saints, bro, like it. I never like. There's never a game when Sean Payton was coaching that they weren't like ready to play like emotionally. Like they come out and they're ready to. If they have to run the ball to win the game, everybody's like cracking heads. And same thing on defense. They never look soft. It's never weak. You know what I mean? And I just think we need to get like we just need to get that back. And that's it,
Oh
bro. That's
yeah.
all.
And no, and like that culture that he brings is winning. 10 out of 10 out of the 15 seasons he was in New Orleans, he had 10 winning seasons. The 5 or 4 7-9s and 1 8-8. A Super Bowl win, right? And people are forgetting the Minneapolis Miracle.
Mm-hmm.
People are forgetting the horrible missed pass interference call that would have sent them to the Super Bowl. There was also still a lot of things that kept Sean Payton from being more successful than what he is. But nonetheless, when you're a team that has been around for 22 plus years now, you need to now make a mark for yourself. You need to now make a name for yourself. We were talking about the Bengals, before this stream, and it was they didn't have an extra first round pick. Now look at them, one of the best teams in the NFL. And when you have the luxury of having one this year and still knowing you have one next year, you need to start investing not only into your young quarterback, but also your franchise as well. When we lost that number one overall pick, Leo, and then fired Lovie Smith later, there were
Mm-hmm.
so many fans who wanted to quit on this team. You had
Mm-hmm.
the Houston media, right? The people who talk about us on the radio, on TV. This is the worst run franchise I'd seen. I'll never watch a game again. Sean Payton fixes all that as soon as he
Oh
steps
yeah,
in the building.
exactly. Yeah.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
question, man. You take a chance on this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I mean, I can't even understand why you wouldn't. I mean, I can't understand like and what's crazy to me and as fans, it's like I see so many people talking about how a head coach isn't worth it. I mean, bro, look, I mean, like look at this. I mean, just think about this. How close the Jaguars were to getting Byron Leftwich, right? And
Hmm.
you look at how, obviously there was some injuries and all this stuff that happened in Tampa Bay. And I mean, but this was a rough year. This was a rough year for him. He's a completely different candidate than he was last year as a head coach. Then that you go from like almost having that and Byron Leftwich wanting to bring in his own GM, to come there, and you come in with Doug Peterson with a Super Bowl winning like think about this. They backed into a more proven coach,
Yep.
and look at like I can't tell you what like how many coaches would have been able to come back and to keep the team from quitting on that game. They went down 28-0, bro,
Yep.
and they won the game. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And then you look at like just how their season started off. I mean, they could have quit early. Like, bro,
Yep.
they had us beat basically, and they shit the bed. You know what I mean? And then you just seen a vast improvement from Lawrence from last year to
Yep.
this year, and then in the middle of this year. And then you look at that from our perspective, bro. Like, like it's you can't tell me that having a coach like this, and I think Sean Payton is even better than Peterson. Like I think you can't tell me that having a coach on that level isn't worth a fucking 12th overall pick. Like just go down the list and look at all the guys that was drafted at 12 and being like, okay, out of them, I mean, probably half of them ain't shit. So like to me, it's like fuck the pick. I mean, what is the pick actually worth? you know. But that's I could talk
Well,
all day about that shit, bro.
no, like I 100% agree with you. The fans agree with you as well. I mean, even some of the Texans players, right? So many of them like that post about them interviewing Sean Payton. And I don't want to talk myself more into it, but it kind of feels like this might be something we see later down the line, right? We don't know. We're just waiting to know if there was going to be a second interview, but he also talked about the staff that he's potentially bringing. Vic Fangio, that defense is going to absolutely be, changed in one off season. Well proven coaches are going to also come with Sean Payton. And that just kind of accelerates the process for the Houston Texans. Another thing that Nick Casario talked about, I think was interesting, was when he said he will take a step back,
Mm-hmm.
and not kind of meaning I won't be the GM no more, but for the past 2 years, it's been my name connected to this rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to be Sean Payton, me, and whoever the hell he brings in. And I think that at the end of the day is the best case scenario. You have a proven head coach and a proven person in the front office like Nick Casario.
Mm-hmm.
Let these two work together, and who knows what will happen for the Texans.
Yeah, bro. I mean, and it just seems like to me it seems like a match made in heaven. And I think because that's been another thing, like you're talking about people saying how much power Sean Payton worked. If you listen to how Sean Payton, I mean, just think about how they talk about like his relationship with like Mickey Loomis. Like it doesn't seem like they ever really like clashed. I mean,
No.
like I think that he enjoys working with people that he respects and that he views as like an equal. And I think that when you look at Nick Casario, look at his background. Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Sean Payton, direct branch off of Bill Parcells. Like I think that they would view the game and like roster and all that stuff. I think they view it similarly. I think that like you said, I think that the whole him stepping down and like I think that's way overblown. I think basic because to me right now it seems like Nick is kind of moving in a way where like that he has a lot of power, and I think like it's like when you get Sean Payton, it's like he almost kind of would step into like kind of like a more traditional GM role in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I think
Yeah.
and what's wrong with that? I think that's perfect. I think it puts less stress on him. I
Yeah.
think you give a coach, it's a great coach, you give him you let him do his
Mhm.
shot, let him do his side. And like, I think, bro, I mean, I hate to say shit like this, you know, but I don't think that it's out of the realm to say that if you get Sean Payton and you have a guy like Casario, I don't think it's out of the realm to say that like we're at least in the AFC title game in 4 or 5 years. I don't think it's crazy to say that we would be in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And I think like you said, like why not? Are we really gonna let the pick stop us when we have a
Yeah.
surplus of picks? You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like, bro, like you said, bro, the franchise is 22 years old. For the last 3 or 4 years, we've been in the laughing stock. It's just time. It's just time to just and then another thing too, like another argument against it, bro, is like everybody talks about, well, what if he quits in 3 or 4 years? I'm like, well, he's talked about bringing in Vic Fangio. In the past 3 coaching cycles, we've like interviewed like 2 or 3 guys from Vic Fangio, right?
Mhm.
So like think about like you said, the coaching staff. Like in 3 or 4 years after Sean Payton being here, like you would be in like a place where you have stability as a franchise, you
Yep.
have direction, you have identity. Who's to say that they won't have the next head coach in
Already
the
waiting.
building already? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no.
To me, and then again, it's like, so even if he isn't the long term 10-year, 15-year guy, he like him having a football mind like that steer a rebuild and put you in a place where like what I'm saying, like put you in a place where it's like you can for the next guy to build off of, and that guy
Yeah.
can potentially already be in there. To me, like again, it's like, what is the pick worth? It's like for this one pick, if I could turn your franchise into the fucking like Steelers over the past 10, 15 years,
Mhm.
is that pick worth it? and it's like
Yep.
it's a no brainer to me. I mean, I mean, it's so exciting to talk about because, like, I mean, like you said, bro, like, I mean, when have we ever had a coach where like I've never felt like I think Kubiak was good, and I think Bill O'Brien wasn't as bad as people make him,
Mhm.
but I never ever felt like
I
we
had the
ever
coaching
had a
advantage.
chance. I never felt like we had a chance just because of the coach. I
Yeah.
feel like Sean Payton gives us a chance in any game, no matter
Yeah,
who we
no.
play. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And if I could convince you like a little bit further, if I am Nick Casario, ever since I've been hired, man, it's been nothing but straight work. I have
Mhm,
to deal with hiring Cully. I
mhm,
have to deal with no draft compensation. I have
mhm.
to deal like he had to deal with the Deshaun Watson situation. Then you had to also fire David Culley like a year later. It's
Right,
been nothing but straight work for Nick
right.
Casario. And
Mhm,
maybe he does see Sean Payton as someone who could help take the load off, and he goes back to that traditional role
mhm,
like he was in New England. And then,
mhm,
hey, that 12th pick is worth it.
mhm.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The
Mhm,
fans want it, right? I think they are now starting to feel more open about
mhm.
the idea of Sean Payton here, right? You talked about the potential free agents that automatically want to come here when you see
Oh,
Sean
yeah.
Payton,
Mhm,
is coming here. The Houston Texans will now have almost 40 to potentially 68 mil this year
mhm,
and then 100 mil next year.
mhm. Yeah, yeah.
He Sean Payton said it himself, man. I could see an immediate improvement with the Texans.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, like, think about it, bro. Like, I mean, out of all, like, there's only one other team that I feel like that is in a position that we would be in, especially with, and that's the Jaguars, right? Because they
Yep.
have, they have, Lawrence, and I mean, they have a good coach, and their roster is, has a lot of upside. But when you turn around and look at the Titans, I mean, I can't tell you where they're going. I mean, like,
Mm,
you know, and then the Colts, the same type of thing. I mean, I think that like and like in the interview, I think we talked about before we started recording the coward shit. It's
yeah.
like, he talked about how soft the division was, and I mean,
Mhm.
you think about the division that Sean Payton was in, the NFC South, bro. I mean, each one of them teams was like competitive, like
Yeah, every single year it was either the Falcons
mhm,
or the Panthers going
mhm,
absolutely dumb. Like, remember, it was either each and every single one of them had a very good 15-1, fourteen
right,
and
right,
2
right.
season,
Mhm.
and he had to deal with that.
Multiple MVPs. I mean, Cam Newton MVP, Matt Ryan MVP, and
Yep.
then look at the NFC as a whole. Then I mean, you had prime Aaron Rodgers, like the
Yeah, the
Legion
Legion
of
of
Boom.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the 49. I mean, remember that? I mean, the 49ers with Harbaugh. I mean,
Yep.
we're talking about like, I mean, murder's row back then, and I mean, obviously the AFC seems to be, I guess, more similar to what that is now, but at the same time, like our division isn't. So you win like if you win the games that you're supposed to win, you'll be in the hunt for the number one seed every year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think like like we're talking. I mean, even the drafting that New Orleans hit on I mean, probably about half of their draft picks, which is crazy. And then people talk about the cap hill. Oh, look at what he left them in. I'm like, bro, they drafted. When you draft well, you pay to keep people, and you
Mhm.
find ways to keep people. Like, to me, them being in cap hill was like because they were successful. So like I mean, to me, it's like we get the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You fixed, we fixed the interior line. I feel, obviously we improve everywhere. You improve the front seven. I think that we can win 10 games pretty fast. So I don't know, bro. I'm all in, bro. I'm it's so exciting, bro. Like you started off with the video, man. It's so exciting to really be a Texans fan, and it's crazy that like after like a 3-win season that we're saying this stuff, but it's like, I mean, I feel like we're at the fun part of the rebuild now.
Oh, for
Mhm,
sure, man. So before, we end this stream, because this was fire, by the way,
mhm,
you see Aaron Wilson tweet: The Houston Texans have named Sean Payton their next head coach. What is your first reaction?
uh, I'm. I probably can't even say it while we recording.
I'll be going, fuck yes.
Hey, bro, we going crazy, dog. You know that's. Hey, bro. I
I'm
mean,
calling off for work, bro. I'm going home, and I am gonna say Sean Payton and either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud will bring Houston a Super Bowl.
hey, we gonna win. You know, I mean, I believe it, bro. You know, shit. I mean,
Let's fucking do it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
before I let you go, Leo, where can the people find you? I know you also do some other stuff on YouTube, man. Let us know.
All right, yeah. So my YouTube is just my name. It's Leo Rayon, and my Instagram, my Twitter handle, man. If y'all are Texans fans, like you were saying, bro, you know, make sure y'all follow me. You know, we have spaces like after every game. You know, pretty much
Every day,
daily.
pretty much every day, you got a space, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, my at is Leo is forgiven. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all follow me, you know what I'm saying, and come into space and let us know how you feeling, bro. And we have real football talk, you know what I mean? So appreciate you, bro, for having me on, man, for sure.
No, absolutely, man. And this definitely won't be the last time. So, guys, if you like today, like I said, follow Leo on Twitter, on YouTube. This is exciting times for the damn Texans, finally, right?
Yeah.
As always, guys, I'll let me know how y'all feel. Y'all have a blessed day.